Welcome to Business and Leadership Stories, episode number 58. Week upon week, we tell you stories from the business world. And Sachin Bhandari, all-round good man, business leadership storytelling coach, comes in here and actually sucks out some beautiful marketing and communication tips from those particular stories. My name is Hrishi K, and please welcome Sachin onto the show. What's up, my friend?
Very good, having fun. Always look forward to this time of the month.
The legend rolls on, you know. There are so many stories about Azim Premji, about Narayana Murthy, about Ratan Tata, about Adi Godrej, and of course the Bajajes.
Yes, of course.
That is the kind of legacy that they built as far as enterprise and organization is concerned. And today I want to talk about what Rajiv Bajaj learned from Hero MotoCorp's victory. We've done a segment on the Bajaj family before, but in entirely different terms.
Right.
We've talked about adoption. We've also talked about, you know, the importance of the scooter. But I've always wondered if in the 90s, Rajiv Bajaj had just stayed comfortable with that leading position amongst two-wheelers,
Right.
would they have settled down into self-satisfied mediocrity?
Yes, they would have.
But I don't have the answer to that question, thankfully, because they pushed the envelope.
They did.
So the Rajiv Bajaj story and the Hero MotoCorp story first, please.
Right. So, Rishi, we all know that, what's happening in two-wheelers now. Of course, there's a push towards EVs and all that. But earlier, in the 90s, Bajaj was sitting at a leading position. People, if you remember, actually used to apply for a Bajaj motor scooter, and then they would have to wait for months to get one. And Rajiv Bajaj at that point in time was trying to push within the organization the change towards two-wheelers, towards motorbike. But of course, it took him time. And during that time, Hero along with Honda actually came into the market, and they then launched the Hero Honda Splendor, the 100cc motorbike, which gave 50 kilometers per liter. So they had a fantastic tagline that a lot of people remembered. Fill
it, shut it, forget it. I remember
that. So that's how it was. And it changed the paradigm for two-wheelers in India. And Rajiv Bajaj admits that they were late. Of course, they came in with the Pulsar, I think maybe 2001 or 2003. And Pulsar also really did a lot for the Indian.
So Honda, I remember, Japan's Honda had launched the 100cc Splendor.
Right.
I think therein, from that came the Pulsar.
Yeah. So they launched the Pulsar. Pulsar did a lot, and Bajaj really was successful with the Pulsar. But the problem was, by the time the Pulsar came out, Hero now actually had cemented their leading position in two-wheelers so well that now, despite all the efforts, Bajaj continues to be the second in the market for so many years. While, of course, they've done well in international markets and things like that, this first position has, eluded them for a very, very long time.
Yeah, so if you're a legacy brand, I think it's that much more important. Because everybody talks about how if you're lean and small, you can be a maverick. You can be, even if you're a legacy brand, because you have so much history to draw from. And sometimes, because of the sheer volume and the size of your company, you can take some very well calculated risks, especially when you know that the tide is turning. And I think you understood the tide was turning from scooters to motorcycles, from 100cc to 150cc to 180cc.
Right.
Because, they started selling bikes which were a Pulsar and the 150cc variant,
the
180cc variant
also, which is 180cc.
In the late 2001 period, I remember that. So what is Sachin Bhandari without a story, and what is Sachin Bhandari without a lesson from that story? So what can we learn from the excellent Rajiv Bajaj?
I'm a huge fan of Rajiv Bajaj. In fact, I tell my wife that if I ever have to work for someone for free, that man would be Rajiv Bajaj. So Rajiv Bajaj, in that interview where he was talking about this entire lesson that they learned from Hero MotoCorp, he said that I realized, because of this entire thing about the Splendor and how we lost the first position, is that the cost of being late is bigger than the cost of being wrong.
Wow.
The cost of being late is bigger than the cost of being wrong. And hence now, when he knows that, in the interview, he also admits that we don't know whether the EVs are the future or not, whether two-wheeler EVs are going to be as big as we expect them to be. But I understand that the cost of being late is bigger than the cost of being wrong. And hence, we will go ahead with the Chetak. We will do everything that we can do in electric vehicles to be able to make it a success. But because we cannot be late again. We've been late once in the 90s, but we cannot be late again. So that's something that he draws. Now, one thing that I realized from Rajiv Bajaj and many great leaders is that they have the ability to reflect on life's experiences and draw out the right kind of wisdom from them. So this entire fantastic line, right? The cost of being late is bigger than the cost of being wrong, is something that he has got from his life's experiences. And he admits that he actually reflects on things that people tell him, lessons that he gets. In fact, he carries around a black notebook or a black diary where he writes down lessons that he's got from life and advice that he's got from people. Not just that, he also writes down fantastic dialogues from movies which he is able to use in interviews again. So my communication tip for a lot of people professionals is that just take 15 minutes at the end of each day, try to reflect on your day and see what you learn from that. I call it story worthy and the story lesson from that particular day. If you can do that, you will become a fantastic communicator, yes, but you will also grow much faster as a person.
The Win with Stories newsletter that is published on LinkedIn is written, edited, compiled completely by Sachin Bhandari. If you want training for groups of people or your top management or your team leaders, individually, he is the man for you through his excellent methods. Where can one reach out to you, my friend?
It's fairly simple, Hrishi. My name is Sachin Bhandari. Look for me on LinkedIn. Sachin is easy. Bhandari is Bhandary. And on my profile, there's a link which says get in touch or stay in touch. Click on that. You can either subscribe to my newsletter or you can also set up a 30-minute Zoom call with me to discuss how I can come and help your organization win with stories.
Till next time then, keep the business and leadership vein running. Thank you.
Thanks.
94.3 Radio 1.